Hello, welcome back to GP Nail Art. Jessica here. So I have my pink and yellow Mani from the This or That Nail Art Challenge. I'll put the video up in the corner for you there. And I have some bare nails, which we are going to get into today. As you can see, I'm going to use my Cascade Colorworks liquids. And we are going to be doing the Cascade Colorworks July subscription colors. So the three colors that came this month were, the theme was Sizzling Summer. So we have this orange color, which is sun-soaked. This fuchsia is Beauty and the Beach. And then this glitter is so freaking gorgeous. High Tide, Good Times. I love the names that they come up with. Also, I wanted to mention, you saw that it had just the tissue paper. They're not putting them in the boxes anymore because they were getting ruined during the shipping. But this one I actually got last month with the June, and I forgot to show it. It's this gorgeous pink and purple glitter. Called Cakes and Candles. I got it in my June order because they are actually doing a free dip with the sub box when you're signed up for their rewards and you have your birthday information listed. So during your birthday month, you get the free dip. So I did get it in June because my birthday is in June, and I forgot to show it, so I wanted to make sure you were aware that they do that for the sub. The people that have the subscription to get the free dip during your birthday. So you can see I have my eyeshadow brushes out, so I'm going to actually do an ombre with the pink and orange colors. I was originally going to do that on my pinky, index, and middle finger, and I ended up doing my ring finger instead of my middle finger, but wasn't anything too I was still happy with the end result. It was, I'm just going to be doing the glitter on the other two nails that I don't do the ombre on. So I'm starting with the pink, and I'm kind of doing that on the towards the free edge of my nail. So I started tapping, so I'm not touching the base coat at all with the brush. I'm letting that kind of sprinkle down onto my nail. I'm only going to show what I'm doing on my pinky because I'm doing the same exact thing on all of my other nails. Well, not the other two nails that I'm doing the ombre on. Okay, so in order to make sure that it doesn't look too much like a color block, I'm going to do the base coat across the whole entire nail again. But this time, so that the colors kind of start to blend together, I'm going to start with the orange. So I want to be careful at this point that I'm kind of starting over kind of my skin and, tapping that down and rotating my finger to make sure I get the powder exactly where I want it, and just kind of letting it, sprinkle down on my nail. And then I turn my finger over you, so I didn't tip it towards the jar. I completely turned it over to tap that off so that the orange didn't get where the pink was, because that was still wet base coat. And then I sprinkled the pink with the brush, as you saw, and we're starting to get more of a blend between the two colors. So you can see that there's a little bit more of a blend. So on the third layer, I'm going to go back to using the pink again, just so we can, continue to get that blend between the two colors. And I'll start, down by the free edge and just kind of work my way up, moving towards the orange to you know, have where those two colors meet. And as far as the, you know, once I have the pink on there, that's already absorbed into the base coat, so it doesn't really matter how much, you know, if the orange kind of gets all over your nail, it's gonna, unless there's wet base coat, it's not gonna go into the pink, so it won't ruin where the pink is. Okay, so now that I have that done on all three of my nails, if there's any spots where you want it to look a little bit more blended, what I'm doing at this point, I don't have wet base coat on the nail, but I'm just kind of scrubbing the brush with the color kind of right across the line where the two colors meet. So that's just to kind of, you know, give it a little bit more of a blend between the two colors. You can do that with both of the colors or wherever, you know, you think that it looks like it needs to be a little bit more blended. So that's kind of doing a scrub ombre type of technique instead of a tap ombre, which was what I started with. And generally it's kind of easier to get a really good blend between something that's maybe like a lighter or more neutral color, and then the ombre color, you know, can be brighter or darker. So when you have two kind of really bright colors like this, it is kind of hard to get a really good blend. So to me it kind of still does look a little bit like a color block. But I still think it came out good, so I'm not, you know, disappointed with it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll move on. Okay, so normally I would cap the nails with the clear to kind of protect that color. I'm using the natural, so this is a translucent type color, but it has a little bit of a color. It's not completely clear. The reason that I'm using this one is because that can also kind of help make the colors look blended where the two colors meet. It just kind of smooths out the look of the colors, but it doesn't really change the way the two colors look. And I hope that makes sense. So it just kind of, you know, helps to kind of make them look a little bit more blended. Alright, so as usual, I'm just going to use my stiffer scrubby brush to really get off any remaining powder from those nails. I will activate these nails before I move into that glitter as well. Alright, so now moving on to that gorgeous glitter, I am going to use my cupcake liner and do a pour over method. It is a chunkier glitter, so if you want to make sure that your nail doesn't end up too bulky, pouring over so that you get more of the powder will help minimize how thick that nail looks. But look at that gorgeous glitter. My god, the colors in this are stunning and match the other two colors perfectly. So to do the pour over method, I am applying the base coat to my whole entire nail as usual. But you'll see that I pour out some of that, or a lot of that glitter that's kind of sitting on the top of the jar, into the cupcake liner before I start pouring over my nail. And that's just to make sure that I'm getting more of the powder. You can kind of see it looks like more of the powder there now. when it pours out of the jar. And that again is just because I want to make sure that the nail doesn't end up looking super thick or chunky. You get kind of a nice, more even layer with the powder. If there's any that's kind of too close to my skin, I'm just going to kind of move that with my tool there. And then I do love to press down on the glitters to make sure they're all laying flat so I don't have any pieces sticking up, but so far so good. And I do the same thing on my thumbnail as well, although I'm not showing that. So again, I'm going to do the base coat on the entire nail. I'm going to pour over again. And generally for the glitters, I don't usually do more than 2 layers of the glitter powders because it can tend to look too thick. So again, I'm pouring over. I did get a little bit more of the glitters this time, but again, I'm just going to, kind of press them into place, use my tool to, move ones that are too close to my skin or overlapping my skin, and then pressing down to make sure they're all laying flat. And then I don't know if you can see, but I have one on my skin kind of on the side of my nail there. So I'm just using my nippers and just trying to pull that off so it doesn't stay stuck to my skin, and just kind of removing some of the glitters that are kind of overlapping on my skin. So you could use tweezers, you can use the nippers, but it was kind of stuck to my skin already with the base coat, so just that water marbling tool wasn't working. Alright, so far looking good, but again, it's mostly powder. There are some chunky glitters on there, so what I'm doing now is just kind of, I did kind of go mostly across my whole nail, but you can kind of dab it into the spots where you need the base coat, and I'm just using some of the glitters that are on my towel, on my mat there, and placing them where there's kind of sparse spots. I like doing this instead of doing another layer because you can really kind of put those glitters exactly where they're needed, exactly where you want them to fill in any kind of gaps or anything like that, but you're not adding a lot of bulk or powder to your nails where it's going to be too thick. So I did cap those nails in clear. I didn't use the natural. I didn't want to mute the glitters at all, so I did cap those in clear off camera. So I'm just activating those nails so that they harden, and then I did file and shape and buff off camera, which is what you're seeing here. We're going to go ahead and remove any filing dust with a little bit of alcohol. I'll go in with the second layer of activator so that that top coat gets nice and shiny. And then we're just about done. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the top coat. I do like to kind of clean off my skin and nails with a little bit of alcohol after that second layer of activator. The activator has soaked into the nail again, but I want to make sure I don't have any on my skin where if my base top coat brush touches, I don't want it really to touch my skin, but just in case, there's not going to be any activator to contaminate that bottle or harden the brush. And then I do also wipe off in between on my paper towel to again make sure I'm not getting any activator in that bottle because we don't want to ruin the top coat. So the first layer, you can see I'm just doing 2 or 3 quick swipes down the entire nail from cuticle to free edge. Usually on my thumb I need maybe 3 or 4 instead of 2 or 3. It's a little bit wider. But you don't want to continue to wipe the brush over the surface of the nail. That could end up making your top coat look dull. so just be careful of that. On the second layer, you can do as many swipes as you want, get the free edge, make sure the whole entire nail is covered, and then you let that dry. You only do 2 layers and you should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the top coat, and then we'll need to get some cuticle oil so that I can re-nourish my skin. Alright, so everything is dry and super shiny. I actually still have this mani on now, and it still looks just as shiny, and it's probably almost a week and a half later. I'm going to go ahead and use my Candi Skin Care. This one is Troppy Way, I believe. So this one smells just like suntan lotion, which I love. And I haven't used it yet, so I had to kind of get that started. But I'm going to go all around my cuticle, under my nail as well, anywhere where, you know, the activator, the alcohol is going to kind of dry out your skin. So also kind of rubbing that cuticle oil into your skin, especially that area from your first knuckle to your nail, can kind of help stimulate nail growth as well. So if you're trying to get your nails to grow, that could be a good thing to do daily. So let me know what you think of this mani. If you've been using the Cascade Colorworks or their sub boxes, let me know what you think. We'll have the August one out next month, and can't wait to see what those colors are. If you want to see any of the other or previous months, I'll have that information in the description box, or a playlist linked for you as well. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, comment down below for me, and until next time, bye for now.